Hi everyone, I'm Alastair Stevens, and this magnificent beast before you is Crusader Kings 2, a sprawling strategy game of intrigue, diplomacy, conquest, and, let's be honest, a large number of assassinations. I thought this would be a really interesting game to stream for you, something that I can explore. It's a game with which I'm somewhat familiar, though I still haven't teased out all of its eccentricities, and what a bushel load of eccentricities there are contained within this game. So I'm just going to begin. We'll see where this takes us. We can choose a historical period here. I have some, but not all, of the required DLC for this game. The downloadable content does little plug-in expansions. But we're going to start right here in the High Middle Ages at 1066. Gives us a little historical context here about the Turkish dynasties, about the Viking descendants in Normandy and Italy are preparing new conquests and the time of the First Crusade was approaching. We can pick one of these significant historical figures here, but I think we'll do something a little more low-key and a little more interesting, perhaps. We're going instead to pick someone. Each of these areas on the map, each of these little, it's accompanied by a little strum there on a lute. Each of these little areas has a count. The counties are formed into duchies, those duchies are formed into kingdoms, and those kingdoms are pitted at war, the one against the other. You can see you can't even see without some scrolling here the entire extent of this map. It won't even zoom out to incorporate everything, but you can see everything here from Western Europe down through Northern Africa, the Middle East, across into Eastern Europe, into Western Asia, all the way down to the Indian subcontinent. This is a vast and sprawling game. We could start all the way down here in India, but instead we're going to start on the very opposite end of the map. We're going to hang out in my hometown up here in the north of Scotland. Let me see. So we have two choices here. We can either play as King Malcolm of Scotland, who is based in Gowdy. But instead, I think we're going to take the Duke of Moray. Now, the Duke of Moray controls, I can click up here to show dukedoms. He controls, well, apparently just Moray and Ross. So I think that sounds good. This is where I was born. This is where I grew up. So I think this is a good starting point. However, this guy doesn't really do it for me. Miles Necton of Moray. He doesn't quite do what I need a ruler to do. So we are instead going to customize him a little bit, give ourselves a better starting point, find someone who looks suitably heroic. There we go. He looks good. The coat of arms is fine because I never remember what my coat of arms is anyway. And we're going to give him a first and last name, perhaps inspired by my recent time with Outlander. I think we'll call him Jamie Fraser. That gives us a hook. That gives us a beginning point for our narrative. He's not, of course, the Jamie Fraser. The Jamie Fraser won't show up for another 700 years. But this, we can assume, is the ancestor of our hero of Outlander. We're going to set him up here. You can see the statistics here: diplomacy, martial stewardship, intrigue, and learning, his health and fertility, the number of sons and daughters. We can adjust that at this point, though I generally don't. We can also set his culture and religion. Every character in the game, and there are literally hundreds of these characters, has all of these statistics and a complex set of traits that govern their behavior, govern their opinions, govern their interactions. It's a fascinating and bewildering and baffling game that I'm going to endeavor to guide you through. So first off, we're going to pick an educational trait for Jamie here. I think we're going to make him a charismatic negotiator. That gives him a significant bonus to his diplomacy. He can win people over at the cost of 1 martial point. He's slightly worse at leading an army, but he's better at intrigue, better at learning, and much better at diplomacy, and gets that tiny 5% bump to his fertility because presumably he can charm all the lasses in Tibet. We're going to pick a couple of traits for him too. Traits have positive and negative numbers associated with them. These are years that will be added to or subtracted from your life. Basically, the more positive traits you pick, for example, were I to make him a Crusader, we would see that his age is now 54 because choosing the Crusader trait adds 30 years to his life, while giving him also, of course, a significant number of other advantages. So we're going to try to give him a few interesting traits here. without necessarily... Oh, and I should say too that picking negative traits means that you are younger, so that you can give yourself huge bonuses and huge disadvantages to balance them out. Let's see what we can find here. Is he attractive? We could make him attractive. I think we'll probably hold off on that for now. Perhaps quick would be a good thing. Quick is a general across-the-board boost to your qualities. That might be fun to go with. Strong, certainly strong. It gives you a lot of boosts, but of course makes you 40 years older, so you have to balance that with some really significant disadvantages too. Celibate will basically end your game. You'll see there the fertility minus 1,000%, which basically makes it impossible for you to conceive children. When your character dies, you pick up the reins as your heir, so not having children will basically lead to a very early end of the game. We have a few other qualities and characteristics here. A duelist, a hunter, a poet, lustful. Lustful seems appropriate for young Jamie Fraser, doesn't it? We may come back to that. Temperate, greedy. So all of these positive and negative traits. We'll maybe just pick a couple here to get started. Honest. He's worse at intrigue but much better at diplomacy. That sounds like a good one. Let's take that. Should we make him paranoid? We could, but I think we probably won't. Oh, scarred. Yes, of course. We should probably pick scarred for Jamie Fraser, shouldn't we? Even for the ancestor of Jamie Fraser. Let's pick that. Let's assume that he's risen through the ranks. He could also get Master Seducer, but I think we'll probably leave that alone for now, too. Let me see. So he is honest and he is scarred. And he is 26. So he has a lot of potential. Perhaps we should give him a slight disadvantage too, if we can find one that would be appropriate here. Oh, we could make him a legitimized bastard. Or a drunkard. A lunatic. Sure. We'll just make him a lunatic. You know what? Let's make him a legitimized bastard. Let's have this story. So we're creating a character here who has risen through the ranks. He's taken his licks. He's somehow arrived at the dukedom. And it is his for the taking. So legitimized bastard costs him a diplomacy point. But he's actually doing very well for diplomacy right now. So that's a good place to be. Is there anything else? No, I think we want him to be 25. We want him to be youthful and vibrant and ready to lead Moray into a golden age. So that's probably enough. He looks like that. He has his name. Scottish, Catholic, not married, no children, standard health, standard fertility, and those are his statistics. He really is amazingly diplomatic. He's enormously popular, which will help us rule. So let's finish that. There he is. Duke Jamie of Moray. And we are going to begin with that dramatic flourish of drums. So one of the most important concepts here in Crusader Kings is the concept of vassalization. To whom you owe fealty and who owes fealty to you. We, I, Jamie, is the Duke of Moray, which means that he both, let me just disable all these hints here. There we go. Which means that he both has vassals and is a vassal himself. So if we click on his portrait, we'll see here that he is a vassal of the liege King Malcolm III of Scotland, who is currently in Gowrie. That is what that little badge there means. I can switch this out to a terrain view that makes it even prettier to behold. We also see that Jamie has a number of vassals. Matthew, the Bishop of Rosemarkie, Patrick, the Bishop of Elgin, and Duff, the Mayor of Inverness. Now, both Inverness and Elgin can be found in Moray. But are we directly? Oh, we hold a number of titles. Oh, okay. So we are both the Count of Moray and the Count of Rothshire, and the Duke of Moray too. And we have a strong claim, on the Kingdom of Scotland. That's fun, huh? Fun. So these little icons up here at the top of the screen, these are our urgent alerts. These are things that we have to deal with right now. This tells us that we have de jure ducal claims that we can push to both Buchan, which is here, and Caithness up here in the top. Catains, I guess. I don't know how you would pronounce that. I guess that is the Norse Norwegian name for it. But certainly in the present day, that is called Caithness, and is certainly a part traditionally of the Dukedom of Moray. So ordinarily, ideally, traditionally, the Duke of Moray doesn't just control Moray and Ross. He also controls Buchan with the city of Aberdeen there, and Caithness. So I actually have the right, because I historically, traditionally also rule those areas, I have the right to declare war and attempt to conquer them. I won't be doing that just yet. I can also pick an ambition, and since this icon here tells me that I am as yet unmarried, and that my title will be lost on succession because I don't have an heir, I think an excellent ambition to pick at this point would be to get married. I think we can make that my ambition. Duke Jamie desires to get married. Perhaps he has to find a willing Sassenach, which we can actually take care of because we are the Duke. We can just decide when we get married. We can look at a list of interesting and appropriate young ladies. And again, as you'll see, the list here is enormous. There are, I said hundreds, probably thousands is closer to it. There are a huge number of individuals out there in the game world, any one of which we can interact with and track and talk to and possibly wed. First, though, before we get into that, we have to, of course, at this point in history, be mindful of the political implications of marriage. So let's take a look at our situation here. We are vassals of the king of... Oh, we're getting a weird thing there. That's fine. We are vassals of the king of Scotland, which stretches here, as you can see, pretty much covers the borders of present-day Scotland, all the way down into Cumberland there. Whereas England begins at Northumbria and stretches all the way down, dominates its traditional area. But we can see that both Ireland and Wales are not organized countries. They are fractured little anarchies of warring counties. A minor dukedom there. King Murchad is apparently the petty king of Mumu. That is a thing that exists. We can see Powys there and a few others. But the thing we have to be aware of mostly, the two things we have to watch for. Firstly, these grey spots here, because they are outposts of the mighty Norwegian kingdom. They hold both the Northern Isles, I should say, the Faroe Isles there, and Orkney, Shetland too, and Caithness. But we also need to be aware of this slightly darker blue kingdom. Here we can find Count Gilbride of Argyll, who is the vassal of King Gudrud of Soriar. You'll have to forgive me for my pronunciation here. This is an independent Norwegian kingdom, an independent, culturally Norwegian kingdom. This guy rules both the county here, the Western Isles, and the kingdom. He has a number of vassals all of his own. He holds, let me see here, 4 other counties in his kingdom. That would be Argyll, Carrick, Galloway, and Man there. So this is a fairly significant political and military presence. I do not want necessarily to aggravate these guys right off the bat because they could crush me fairly trivially. So I need to give that some thought. Far more importantly, though, I need to be very wary of Norway, because Norway will presumably try and expand south into the rest of Scotland, and that makes me target number 1. So I need to think, as I'm trying to arrange a marriage, I'm going to need to think about a powerful military alliance, and I'm going to be looking for a powerful military alliance in the area, someone who can possibly help me out. I can become betrothed to young ladies who are under the age of 16. That is just a contractual formality, and then when you become 16 and become within the game systems an adult, then you marry properly. But let me see here. I'm looking for someone fairly powerful, but also fairly close. Someone who is going to be young enough to be fertile and to give me heirs. You can, I should say, also play as women in this game. It's entirely possible to play as a woman. Now, I'm interested in Gwenllian here. She is the daughter of King Blethen of Powys. She's 24, an excellent diplomacy score, a decent stewardship, an excellent learning score. She is also a mastermind theologian, which gives her a lot of advantages. That's probably why her learning is so high. She is ambitious, greedy, trusting, and gregarious. Now, she seems perfect, except that ambitious. Ambitious is the killer. People who are ambitious dislike pretty much everyone, particularly those people who are more important. And marrying someone who is ambitious is probably a recipe for disaster further down the road. So let's stick a pin in her for now, Gwenllian of Powys. And keep looking. It may well be worth going to France. Now, Constance of Burgundy, the daughter of Duke Robert the Old. She is 21. She has an excellent intrigue score, which is useful for spying and scheming. She is an elusive shadow. She is cruel, brave, shy, and proud. She may be interesting, and it brings an alliance with Duke Robert the Old of Burgundy. That is not an insignificant. Alliance. Constance, huh? All right, let's take a quick look through the list, see if anyone else jumps out at us. Actually, we're looking for people who are important, because people who are important are more likely to bring with them the kind of alliances that I seek. So we can order this list by rank. Meaning that Adelaide, the Princess of Hungary, is going to be at the top of the list. So let's see here. Hungary's a little far away. I fear that if I'm invaded by Norway, Hungary may not be able to ride to my rescue. She is an intricate web weaver, humble, temperate, wrathful, and paranoid. Probably not a bad trait in a masterful schemer. She's 16. Those are pretty good statistics, truth be told. I'm somewhat mindful, though, of this Hungarian alliance. Sigrid of Denmark. She, too, is a legitimized bastard. She is humble, content, envious, and deceitful. How one can be both content and envious, I'm not entirely sure, but that's fine. That's good. Decent statistics, too, and a decent alliance with Denmark. Or her sister, Gunhild, also a legitimized bastard. Good lord. King Sven II of Denmark was apparently siring bastards left and right throughout the kingdom here. Oh, there are a lot of... Oh my god, there's another one. Another legitimized bastard. What has happened here? Unfortunately, my knowledge of history is incomplete, or sufficiently incomplete, I should say, that I have no idea if that is actually reflective of that guy's real-life history. Now, Gwenllian was ambitious. You know what? Let's call it. Let's go for Adelaide. Let's marry up, shall we? Adelaide, the Princess of Hungary. That gets us an alliance with Prince Giza of Hungary. I think she's the one. She also holds a claim to the Hungarian throne, which means that I may be able to... Yeah, I may be able to make that work later. So let's... whoops, there we go. Propose that Duke Jamie and Princess Adelaide, I don't know if Adelaide is exactly how you pronounce that, but I'm going to go with it. As Duke, Jamie will gain 56 prestige from marrying into House Arpad and 100 from marrying the relative of a king. So this is a very prestigious marriage for me. We see, though, that she will totally agree because she has a high opinion of Duke Jamie, as you would expect. So I will send that. And she, with her pretty blue eyes, can choose to respond in just a day or two, which leads me to another major game component here, which is the clock. The clock here is not running. Nothing has been happening in the game while I've been making these crazy decisions. Let me put that back to the terrain view. It's a little prettier. I will now unpause the game and actually speed it up just a little. Days tick by. Oh, look at that. Princess Adelaide and Duke Jamie have gotten married. In fact, let me answer this one first. To the great Duke Jamie, your wisdom and mercy are legendary. I accept the suggestion that Duke Jamie and Princess Adelaide get married. Well, isn't that just lovely? Thank you very much. Princess Adelaide and Duke Jamie have gotten married. We can collect a royal aid duty to pay for the ceremonies. These little interface windows are one of the game's most interesting narrative mechanics. It will give you a little piece of information here and give you little choose your own adventure options, which if you mouse over them will give mechanical consequences. So I can choose to take this royal aid duty to pay for the ceremonies, which will bag me 12.47 gold pieces, or I can say no, people respect wealth, pay for it myself, and gain instead 100 prestige. I will say that prestige is more important at this stage of the game than the gold, so I'm going to say no. People respect wealth, and people respect me, God damn it. Now I have fulfilled my ambition of getting married. So the process here was I decided, I should get married. That would be really great. And then I got married. The story is so rich so far. Okay, we'll deal with you in just a minute. First, though, we are going to pick another ambition. You can hold one ambition at a time. The ambition that you choose will make certain events more likely. It will open up narrative possibilities for you. We're going to figure out exactly what we have here. So I can choose to have a son. I can make my ambition have a son and gain an heir. I'm still fairly young, and so is my wife. So instead, become King of Scotland? That would be a dangerous one. Instead, I think I'm going to rely on my amazing diplomacy score and make it my ambition to become the Chancellor for King Malcolm. I want to be appointed to his court. So that is my new ambition. Duke Jamie would like to treat with foreign dignitaries in the court of his liege, which of course is a very prestigious position in and of itself. So that's awesome. Speaking of the king, I have decided to institute the limited crown authority law in the Kingdom of Scotland. Your status as my de jure vassal entitles you to a vote on the matter, King Malcolm III of Scotland. Sure. You want limited crown authority? Sure, I am with you, boss. I am a loyal vassal. So, let's see where we are now. Oh, there's one other thing I have to do, actually, before I go speeding through the game, and that is to appoint members of my council. Your council is your inner court. These are your direct employees. You can send them off to conduct certain missions or engage in certain tasks all over the world on your behalf. But unfortunately, 3 of my 5 spots are not currently appointed, and the 2 that I have are not great, truth be told. So first off, I will appoint my Chancellor. This is the position that I want with my king. So I need someone with a high diplomacy, and unfortunately it is Patrick, the Bishop of Elgin. He has the highest diplomacy of all my courtiers. So you get to keep your job, buddy. You are not great, however, so I will try and fire you as quickly as possible. For now, though, I will send him to improve diplomatic relations. Now, I can actually click my opinion button here. Well, everybody kind of likes me right now. For now, do I have a particular vassal who doesn't like me? Oh, well, the Mayor of Inverness barely tolerates me. So what I will do for now is send Bishop Patrick to play nice in Moray and convince the Mayor of Inverness that I'm a decent guy. I mean, I'm his duke, so he will obey me, but how much he likes me will influence how much direct support I get from him. Let's appoint a marshal. Killian, you are pretty terrible. 10 is not a great score. You are a competent commander, it tells me. However, you, sir, are the best that I have. You are going to be sent to... You are going to be sent to... Let's go train the troops, also in Moray. I need a steward who manages the purse strings of my kingdom. I have terrible people in my kingdom right now. Malpeder. Malpeder? Malpeder? I don't know. But either way, buddy, it is you, and you are going out to collect taxes in Moray. Now, my spy master was previously Bishop Matthew of Rosmarkie. However, I know for a fact that my queen, my new queen, has a much better intrigue score. She is a masterful schemer whereas Bishop Matthew is only a decent schemer. And as we know, masterful beats decent. So Princess Adelaide of Hungary and Duchess of Moray, you are going to be my spy master, and I'm going to set you to scheme in Moray to prevent people from scheming against me and to catch them in the act. And then finally, a court chaplain. Now Matthew, I just fired from being my spy master. However, he's a pretty good scholar and would actually be perfect for my court chaplain. He doesn't like me right now because I just fired him. So hopefully giving him another job, will make him like me just a little more. He is going to improve religious relations. Actually, there's a nice mechanic here. He is the Bishop of Rosmarki, which is in Ross. I am going to send him to improve religious relations with himself. He is going to sit himself down and give himself a long talking to about how great I am. And also how not quite so great the Pope is, at least in as much as he should owe me his direct fealty instead of owing his direct fealty to the Vatican. Politics. We're already playing politics. So let's dismiss that. Let me see, I have a weak claim on the Kingdom of Hungary because of my wife. I have my de jure claims on Buchan and Caithness. I have this still pressing problem of a title loss. Hopefully, the title loss, in fact, is because I have no heir to my dynasty. So, at this point, I think it would behoove me to spend some time encouraging my wife to like me. She likes me 29 right now. Everybody in the game has an opinion of everyone else in the game. That is going to be a combination of their personal qualities. It can be their statistics. You know, I have this exceptional diplomacy, which means that she likes me 27 points just because I'm so diplomatic and charming. She also likes me an extra 2 points because my prestige is fairly high. It's almost 300 right now. People will also have opinions of you based on your personal traits, your history with that person, your nationality, your culture, your religion. It's a very, very complicated web, but it is a web that you can manipulate to a certain extent through the diplomacy menu, which you see here. Now, I can send her a gift. I can send her 20 gold, and that will make her like me a little bit. I can find out exactly how much, in fact, by clicking here. If I send her 20 gold, she will like me 26 points more than she does right now. That is not a good trade. 20 gold for 26 opinion points is probably not great right now. Also, it's a little weird to be bribing your wife right after you got married to her. I'm hoping to win her over. However, what I can do is award her an honorary title. I can make her both the designated regent. If one should become necessary, she will become the regent. I think that's actually just a smart move right now. There's no reason for her not to be my designated regent. And I can also make her my High Almoner, the only honorary title that can be held by a woman besides regent. This, as you'll see here, I can only make one person the High Almoner. The handing out of alms was an integral part of rulership and religious observance. The one responsible for this task is a very important personage. This raises her opinion of me, as you can see from that little window. I also pay her a tiny monthly salary, and it means no change in prestige for her. But nonetheless, she will like me just a little more. So if we give that a minute to roll out there, and I click on her again. Oh, it hasn't changed her opinion of me just yet. These things often take just a few days to take effect. Nonetheless, we will push ever onward. Really, the main thing that I need to do right now... Well, obviously, I'm eyeing Buchan here. Earl Kenneth of Buchan, who is 15 right now, is at the moment a direct vassal of the king. Now, there's nothing saying that counts, or earls in this case, cannot be direct vassals of the king. The king does not need to mediate his power through a duke, but traditionally, that is exactly what happened here. He is traditionally my vassal, rather than the king's vassal. I can go to war to re-exert my authority over him, and we can find out exactly how easy that would be by looking at some numbers here. Here I am. I have at my command 1,763 troops. That is the levy that I can demand from the counties of Moray and Ross. 1,763. Kenneth of Buchan, child that he is, where is he? There he is, can only marshal 591 troops. Right now, there's actually no reason that I cannot exert my natural and God-given authority over Buchan. That would increase my personal control, it would make my position more stable, and it would give me more troops to personally command. I think that may be the way to go. So Jamie Fraser, being very attached to the proper way of doing things and justice, is going to declare war on this 15-year-old boy. And we see here, so the reason for war, the casus belli, is the de jure claim on Buchan. You need, in this game, at this time, a valid casus belli, that is cause for war. You cannot just declare war on whoever you want, because that war wouldn't be recognized, no one would send you troops in support, you would be condemned by all, and probably cast into the moat of your very own castle. But I have a casus belli here, I have the de jure claim on Buchan. So because the county of Buchan is de jure a vassal of Duke Jamie of Murray's, that is cause enough for war. If we win, then he becomes my new vassal and I become his new liege. Though, of course, I am still the vassal of the king, so he's still in our kingdom. This isn't going to lead to some horrible separatist movement or something like that. If we make a white peace, that is, we agree to disagree and go our separate ways, if the war is not going well, I can basically call the whole thing off, but I will lose 100 prestige. And if we lose, if the young upstart rallies his troops against me, I lose 200 prestige for being whipped by a 15-year-old boy, and I also have to pay reparations of 164 gold. As you can see from the little graphic in the top right of my screen, I currently have 72 gold. So that would be pretty calamitous. I would effectively be out of the game at that point. That said, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Let's declare war right now. I shall send him my notification of war. I shall begin the procession of time. Let him respond to me. Oh, he has responded to me. The war was immediate. I thought, I seem to recall there being an actual process of the declaration of war in earlier versions of this game, but perhaps not now. So I am going to raise my troops. You see, he already has an army of 878 people marching toward me. I'm going to zoom in here just a little, make this a little clearer. In fact, if I switch to, which of these maps would be easier to see? There we go. We can see that he is currently very upset with me. But I have 744 troops coming in from Ross. I have 1,000 troops marshaled already. Defending is much easier than attacking, particularly because you'll see here in the little window that appeared there on the right-hand side, the county of Moray, because it is hilly. If a combat takes place here, the defender will get a defensive bonus. His 878 troops are about to run into the worst day they've ever had. Oh, he changed his mind. That's smart. That's smart. So I'm going to wait for these other troops to appear here. We'll accelerate time just a little. All right. I now have 1,800 troops that I'm going to merge into one mighty army, and I am going to send them off. He has just moved his army, it would seem, into a fleet. I wonder where he's going to take that. Oh, that's not at all clear what he's up to. Oh, look, he deposited his army in Ross. He actually circumvented my troops. But that's all right. I'll go up to Ross and crush his army there instead. I'm very comfortable with that. He's going to retreat to Caithness. I will pursue him. You got nowhere left to run, buddy. Attack, attack, attack now. Charge! My God. Duke Jamie of Moray, this little narrative event, gains the trait Wrath. I became angered by this impudence and resolved to attack. Alright, we're getting some political notifications up here. I achieved victory. We forced his remaining 488 men into a rout. We are going to pursue them and eradicate the remnant of his army. Once you have the advantage in these things, it's actually fairly trivial to press your advantage. I still have 1,500 troops remaining. He has a fraction of that, 240 in fact. And once I've taken care of his army, which I have, his army has now been eradicated. He managed to raise another 114 troops in Buchan, but I'm going to march. I'm going to kill those troops, and I am then going to besiege the city of Aberdeen and take it for my very own. Now, this is the besieging interface here. Oh, I'm actually sieging Ellen right now, the castle of Ellen. Also in Buchan is the bishopric of St. Macher and the city of Aberdeen itself, but I'm taking out the castle rather than the city, which I guess makes a certain amount of sense. Sieges take a long while, during which my troops will be stranded there. Narrative events can occur that will accelerate or impede my success. We can also see that Mayor Duff of Inverness is growing unhappy with me because the vassals that I raised to conduct this war have been raised for, the levies, I should say, have been raised for too long. So he's getting somewhat unhappy. We can also see down here that in the Murray-Buchanian de jure war over Buchan, I am winning 68%. So let's just see here. Were I to offer peace now, he would refuse. He would say, I'm losing, but I won't give up yet. Well, all right. Oh, look at that. In the months that we've been pursuing this conflict, Kenneth of Buchan has turned of age. He is now the grand old age of 16 and sporting quite the magnificent beard there for a 16-year-old, I have to say. He is not a fan of mine right now. He is also, you see there, he is also deceitful and thus looks down upon my trait of honesty. There's nothing that I can actually do about that. There will be a process of diplomacy, of winning Kenneth back to the fold after I win this war and he swears vassalage to me. We can see here that the morality of the defenders is decreasing. The morale of the defenders is decreasing, but we've had a far more important piece of breaking news. Fate smiles upon me. My wife Adelaide is pregnant. Here on the 7th of November of 1067, I discovered my wife was pregnant. It's a great day. I'm passing out cigars right now. Oh, and a random narrative event. A famous writer proposes to compose, ladies and gentlemen, your family chronicles. So my choices here are to give him patronage, wherein I lose gold but gain prestige, and there's a 15% chance that I will also gain the trait of pride, or I can ignore him, which means that I don't lose money or gain prestige, but there's a small chance that I will gain the trait humble. So humility gives me piety, and pride gives me prestige. Well, look. Role-playing aside, I am never going to, put a writer out of work. A famous writer proposes to compose my family chronicles. I'm going to give him patronage. I'm going to go to patreon.com/famouswriter and sign up to support him. And Jamie says, I know that I am great and deserve respect. I have gained the proud trait. Absolutely appropriate for his character, I think. So now we'll see that that has been added here. Pride, superbia, is the 7th deadly sin according to the church. However, proud characters tend to be ambitious and work hard to increase their prestige. So I now gain an extra half point of prestige per month. My prestige currently 340. There's some more politicking going on here. Earl Duff of Fife is unhappy with the king, as earlier was Earl Malmuir of Athol. Oh, my court chaplain has shown up. So Bishop Matthew of Rosemarkie has shown up to tell me that he has managed to convince Bishop Matthew of Rosemarkie that I am a benevolent and pious ruler. So that conversation he had with himself apparently yielded great dividends for me, and his opinion of me has changed by 30 for the next 2 years. He is a big, big fan of mine. So now if I actually go into my council, I will see that, yes, he now likes me 46, where previously he was much less enthusiastic. My wife is unhappy. Hey there, wife, what is up? Oh, she is humble and I am proud, and that has made her unhappy. I gave her those honorary titles. They didn't seem to have much effect on her fondness for me. We'll return to that when the war is over, I guess. Speaking of which, the war is almost over. The defenders' morale has almost been exhausted. Oh, I was paused, so we'll advance time just a little more. And victory shall shortly be ours. There we are, victory in the siege of Allen. I have taken it over. And you'll see here, my war score has now jumped to 100%. I have won. I can go and talk to Earl Kenneth, and I can offer him peace. I can enforce my demands, that is that I am his new liege, and I gain 100 prestige from winning this war. And he is forced to say yes. We are totally beaten, apostrophe. I wonder if that's an asterisk. I wonder if he's adding a footnote there. We are totally beaten, asterisk, but still don't like you. I will send this, and the war will be over. Duke Jamie of Moray won. Excellent. I can now disband my troops. I can send them all home to their families, which is a nice thing. And then the charm offensive can begin. You can see that this is a slightly darker green. He doesn't like me that much. He dislikes me 22, in fact, right now. There's not a great deal that I can do about that directly. I could send him a gift. I could send him 25 gold in exchange for 25 opinion points. That is nothing like enough. I could award him an honorary title. I could make him the master of the horse or the master of the hunt, or my cupbearer. I think let's make him master of the horse for now. Or do I want, in fact, to revoke his title? I could revoke his title and I could take the county for myself. But as you can see, that would be viewed as tyrannical by my other vassals. No, you know what? Let's win him over. I think you and I, buddy, I think you and I can be friends. You are now master of my horse. I know, it's a great day to be you. But more importantly, perhaps, I can also take my chancellor, inept as he is, I can send my chancellor to Buchan to improve my relationship there. And in fact, if I also send... Yes, if I also send my court chaplain to Buchan to improve relations, I can meet directly with Kenneth's vassal, Alexander, the bishop, of St. Macher. So I can conduct this charm offensive throughout the county of Buchan and win everyone over. Well, that was that. My first war successfully executed. But now my thoughts turn once more to my dear wife, who is still with child. There she is. This woman is with child. Spouse opinion, plus 25. The main thing about being with child is that your spouse likes you 25 points more than he did before. An immediate response from Bishop Patrick. Earl Kenneth likes me more. He now likes me 30 points more for the next 4 years. Bravo, Bishop Patrick. You did good work. Meanwhile, Kaiser Heinrich III of the Holy Roman Empire has set up Pope Werner as an anti-pope, named Pope Benedict X. Things are happening far, far away. And this is one of the most amazing things about Crusader Kings, is that we are fighting over these few square miles of Scottish countryside here. But while we're doing this, let me just pause the clock here. While we are doing this, similar events are taking place in every single county, in every single kingdom, in every single area of this vast and ridiculous map. I can right now go to Byzantium. I can go and find here Constantinople. I can go and find out about Basilius Constantinos the Fat, the Basilius of the Byzantine Empire, the Count of Lesbos, and heir to the Duchy of Crete. I can find out all about him and his wife and see his statistics and the fact that he has a huge number of men at his command right now. I can find out that he is club-footed and gluttonous and lustful and gregarious and arbitrary and an indulgent wastrel, basically. Hence Basilius Constantinos the Fat. So I can find out about all of these people, and he has this complex web himself. He has children and vassals and courtiers and allies. He is doing the same kind of thing that I'm doing, and that gives rise to this enormous complexity. And through that complexity, emergent narrative. Now I can go straight back here. There we go. More or less. to my own little kingdom here. I can find out, does the king like me? The king likes me fair enough. That's not too bad. That could be better. I'm still new, you know, I haven't been around that much. But for now, I'm more concerned with my wife's pregnancy. Here we are. I have a new heir. I have a daughter. A daughter was born to Duke Jamie of Moray and Princess Adelaide of Hungary, named, oh my goodness, Kentigernna? I think I may need to make that something a little more easily pronounceable. What could I name this character that would be appropriate to the time, that would be an entirely consistent piece of characterization for this half Outlander fanfic that I'm writing here? Not in any way Outlander fanfic. I'm going to pick a good Scots name. Why wouldn't I? You know what? Let's name her in honor of a character who gets far too few words in both the book and the TV show of Outlander. Let's name her Letitia, shall we? Letitia. So my daughter, Letitia, is now technically my heir. There she is. We can see that she is, as of yet, 0 years old. She has no statistics whatsoever. She likes me 31, which is pretty good, you know, for a baby. She has a prestige of 123 because she is she's the daughter of the Duke and Duchess. Getting some more political news there. So that's great and all right now. Right now, I am operating under the strictures of agnatic cognatic gavelkind. That means that when my titles pass to my heirs, they are going to be split up amongst the available heirs. However, girls are only heirs if there are no boys present. I can go to some length to change that, but that's not going to be a possibility for me for quite some time. But for now, I need to decide on my next course of action. And in fact, for now, I think that is probably long enough for the first installment of this story. We leave Jamie and Adelaide and young Letitia Fraser peacefully encamped. Oh, the snows have just begun to fall there on the Highlands. We see the snows spread out across Athol. We've got Moray, we've got Ross there, out into Buchan itself. We're approaching the end of November 1068, and that, I think, is a perfect spot to conclude for today. Guys, thanks for watching. If you would like more of this, let me know. I'm sure that a story will begin to spin out all too soon as we zoom out there up into the atmosphere and we look down upon the grandeur of Scotland, England, and of course the ever looming threat of Norway to the northeast. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll be back soon.